Welcome to Word on the Block. You know what? My microphone is good. It ain't gonna pick that up. Um, yeah, man. This is first week of March. It's March 10th. Oh shit. I guess it's not the first week of March. But it's March 10th, and we've had a couple of data points come out. So we're gonna go over some of that. Um, Normally I feel like I keep like the current topics show like separate from like the economic stuff. But today I'm gonna mix it up a little bit and I guess just combine some of them. So I'm gonna go over some random topics or some topics that have been in the public discourse and go over, and then we'll take a look at some of the economic data that we have for for the time being. And just give some insights on how I'm feeling towards the investment landscape, the investment environment, and yeah, that's it. Probably focus on more on stocks today. I'll do crypto later this week, and because I mean a lot's happening in crypto. Well, I don't know if you want to say a lot. It's going down a lot. I don't know. But for people that are in crypto or interested in crypto, just want to be able to provide that insight to them. Yeah, actually, because like there's a lot of stuff happening on Twitter with like the crypto communities, and so I definitely want to give just some insight because yeah, it's just a lot of, I don't even know what to call it. Just a lot of craziness happening on crypto Twitter, and you know if there's no alternative voice to it, then what are people going to do? So I'll be making that after, I'll be posting that later this week. So, a couple of topics. In a group chat I'm in, we were talking about investments, and somebody mentioned looking at real estate as I guess like as an alternative investment right now. And I instantly I was like, shit, like if you want to do real estate, like I don't know, like a lot of housing markets are freezing up right now. Like real estate is very much a local thing. Like it's different for every region, it's different for every state, it's different for every like area. Like you can be like hell, you can be within one city and the real estate in one district is booming. Then you go to the other side of town and properties are sitting vacant, for months. So real estate is, you just really have to be aware of, the local environment of what you're trying to build, where you're trying to build, all of that. Generally speaking, I would say, yo, if people just aren't buying houses, um, you know, it might not be a good time to get into real estate. That's probably better. That's probably a better market for more like experienced real estate investors who know how to navigate, a downturn in the economy. And then like you even look at it, put it in context of like of the total economy, and like, yo, if unemployment is going down, what makes you think people are going to be buying houses? I mean, unemployment goes up. What makes you think people are going to be buying houses? Hiring is going down. You know, the I guess the situation for a hot housing market, we're not in it anymore. And then like interest rates are high, so that makes it even worse for people. I know that there's still going to be like the higher end market is still going to be viable, but you know, rich people are trying to looking to relocate or looking to buy a second house or a third house, or whatever. They're only going to buy so many. So, and then like, can you come in and like be the person that they buy from, be the person that flips that house, that, six, seven figure, that $7 million house, not 7 million, that $1 million home for them? Probably not. So, it's just in this time, you just have to be very careful. Because, and then honestly, like one of the things that can happen is that you can be your liquidity can just be dried up by real estate just from sitting in it. Like you get a house and it's just sitting there. You can't get nobody to buy. You can't get nobody to flip it. You just stuck. And you having to pay the renovation loan that you took out or whatever. So yeah, just be careful out there. It's a dicey time. Um, what else? I saw that. Then I saw on I think it was on Instagram about people talking about T-Pain flying commercial, first class commercial, but flying commercial. And then he was like, for the flight I'm taking, it's $100,000 on a private jet. And why would I spend $100,000 and I'm not making money? Like it was just, I guess it was like a casual, sightseeing trip or something for him. And that brought up like a couple of good points. Number one, shout out to T-Pain, man, for that financial awareness, living, making just smart financial decisions. Yeah, he probably could fly on take the private jet, but it's like eventually them $100,000 jet tickets gonna add up, and if you're not making money doing it, you know, that's how you run out of money. So that's the first thing. Shout out to him. Like that's a lot of times what I try to talk to people about is blocking out all the outside noise because now more than ever we have so many more influences like to us, and it's trends on social media. Like it's people like at events who regurgitate things I heard on social media. Like now, all of a sudden, budgeting is a bad word. Like that's the latest like dating ick. And most of that comes from like the prostitutes on social media posing as normal women, but then normal women see it and be like, oh, well, that sounds good. And it's like, no, you airhead. Like she lays on her back for money. Like she's not telling y'all that. Um, but you know. It is what it is sometimes. But yeah, shout out to T-Pain. It's good to see, successful people and successful celebrities you know, live within their means, and it doesn't mean, living to random people's expectations. It's living within your means. It's like, hey, he make this much money off royalties. He might have his own studio where he makes like, and he's living within his means, living a happy life, minding his business, and getting to and from where he got to go, how he want to do it. Um, what we need more of is people minding their damn business. Like, why are you worried about how T-Pain flying from one place to another? Like, why does that matter? Why everybody got to have a comment about everything, that don't involve them? That's like one of the issues that we have. Um, And if the shoe was on the other foot, like if everybody was just had something to say about everything you did, like you would go crazy. Like that's why you have a lot of problems in society because like it's so much of that. That's why like our what they call it, our self-harm rates for teenagers and kids is so high because like they like social media bullying is like running rampant and it's hard to protect and like the platforms aren't doing it aren't protecting kids. It's hard for parents to do it. And some aren't even aware that it's a problem. And so, we just need to get back to a place of just minding our own business, not worrying about everything everybody else got going on. That will generally make the world a better place. Um, so that was one thing. Then I seen a broke for 30 for 30. And I guess we're talking about like rich athletes or like rich athletes, and like how they were spending their money. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna try to watch it. I'm gonna try to find it. I don't have ESPN Plus. I don't think. I don't know. I gotta check. But you know what? I think I do. I think one of my homeboys has ESPN on my Xbox. I think I might be able to watch it from there. So I'm gonna look into it. But I like how they're being, vulnerable about their experiences, about their mistakes, because it allows other people to watch it and not repeat those mistakes. And now with like athletes, they coming out of high school with more money than ever, and you know they're gonna make a lot of the same mistakes. And so hopefully it serves as a lesson that they can learn from, where they're able to, just get a little framework of how to manage some money better. I mean, because realistically, like dudes is coming out of college right now, they'll never be shit in NFL. Like speaking about football, like they won't amount to anything in NFL, but they're leaving college with generational money. Like they're leaving college with $5 million in NIL money over, the course of their collegiate career. And so it's good that those stories are being told so that athletes at whatever age, whatever stage, their chances of making better decisions only goes up with that information, and that those experiences being shared. So I'm gonna watch that and like talk about it one of these next films, tapes. What do you call these things? Videos. Um, then plastic containers. I literally just did this. I was about to heat up my frozen broccoli and my frozen like veggie pasta in a bag. And I was like, Michael, stop being lazy. Like put it in a bowl, put it in a glass container, and microwave it there. But it was an article that said like heating up food like to go, like take out food from restaurants and like those plastic containers that you get from restaurants. Heating up in those containers can be linked to like heart disease or heart issues or whatever. And it kind of goes with the stories or not stories, but like the articles and the findings coming out about how the amount of microplastics that have been found in like the human body and in the human brain has increased by like 50%, I think. And so they say like now, like the average person likely has like a spoon worth of microplastics in their brain and all the different issues that can cause, like dementia, Alzheimer's, and all that. And and so yeah, like I'm trying to minimize my microplastic intake. I try to eat out of like metal containers. Like I got a black metal water bottle, instead of like using plastic water bottles. I bought my mom, I got her like a water filter for the house because she's like always buying like water bottles. And I'm just like, me, I'm a tap water drinker. And so, and granted, like it's all tap water ain't the same. Like I live in Dallas Fort area. The tap water here is actually like really clean, really good. I've lived in some places where that's not the case. Like Fort Lauderdale, you cannot drink that water. Like you just can't. You might be in Flint. There's places in Alabama I've heard. So it's different from, every place. It would be great if, the federal government gave a shit and just made sure all Americans had clean drinking water. Uh, but that's not the world we live in right now, where they're too worried. Like, what is our government even spending money on right now? They're worried about Doge, and they're cutting just like random federal jobs, random federal agencies. It's not random. They're cutting federal agencies of things that they want to exploit, or they want to privatize, or they want to uh, take advantage of deregulation. That's what they're cutting. Um, and but it's like, okay, even that aside. what is our federal government doing for American people? Like, that's a question. That's a question I wish more people who voted for the current administration would think about because they're not getting any real benefit from it. Like the average American is not going to really benefit under the current administration. Not to say that like the average American would benefit a lot from like Biden or if Kamala won, um, because I'm in the house. I'm in the well, I guess not the house. I'm in the chamber thinking that both parties are, ruled by oligarchs now. And we really do live in a fascist society where it doesn't matter who you vote for. If you're, part of the working class, you're gonna get screwed kind of regardless. Um, it's just one party. I feel like Republicans, it's, you know, heavy fascism. Democrats, it's fascism light. And yeah, so it's just an unfortunate state that we find ourselves in and as Americans, as American citizens. Um, I don't know how we got on this. I'm gonna change topics. I'm I'm trying to decenter political uh discussions. Then I saw a post about actually I saw this a couple of weeks ago, but I feel like I could add it here. It was about a budget, and I would say using air quotes, it was a budget for a wedding in DC, and the budget was $100,000. And the two ladies talking about, I guess one was like an event planner or a wedding planner, and they were just talking about this shit like it was just like hella normal. It's like, oh, $40,000. She said, like one of them said $40,000 for a production. I was like, what fucking production are you talking about? Like, you're not shooting a movie. Like, what production are you talking about? This one, like, it was like $12,000 for flowers. I'm like, does any of this make sense? Like, does any of this make any sense? Like, like going back to the broke, like people love to point fingers at like athletes who go broke, but then like you turn around and have $100,000 weddings and nobody says shit about that. And so it's like, where's the consistency? That's what I want. Like, where's the consistency of like who should be good or who should be bad with money? Like $100,000 wedding is a bad decision, and it was for 100 people, so that's $1,000 per person. That makes zero sense. It was spending like $1,400 on a cake. I'm like, bro, a cake? And then like some of these cakes, they not like the cake you see isn't real. It's like, a fake cake and they have like one like real slice that you cut. It's like, is that what you paid $1,500 for? That's the like all like the fancy expensive cakes I've ever seen in my life, I've ever had in my life. They all taste like shit. You know what the best cakes I've ever had? They come from like Kroger's. Like those fucking taste amazing. That cakes aside, cakes and my sweet tooth aside, the reason I use air quotes when I said this is a budget, because like a budget, a core tenet of budgeting is like logic. Is logic, looking at alternatives and then like especially when you're talking about personal finances, it's like goal-based budgeting. Like when you have a budget, when I help people with their budgets, I start with their goals. Like, yo, what are some of your life goals? Because any goal you got is gonna take money, it's gonna take resources to get there. And the point of the budget is to make sure that the limited amount of money you got is is being used to advance you towards those goals. And so when you have $100,000 wedding and you call that a budget, it's like, how is this a budget? And how is this a budget that fit into like your overall financial plan? Because $100,000 on a wedding, unless you're worth at least $10 million, you have no business having $100,000 wedding. Like you just don't like that. it's just ridiculous. Like spend money on a honeymoon. Like if it was like honeymoon and wedding, all $100,000, I'm like, all right, like there's better options, but the experience for you and your newlywed, you know, we can rationalize that some type of way. But just $100,000 for a wedding, like, and then like these type of people who like had these conversations or entertain these conversations or live this lifestyle. Then they were like, "Oh, budgeting's like they're the ones that talk about budgeting as a bad word." But it's like, bro, you're doing dumb shit. Like just because you're a chick, don't mean that you have a free like you can just be bad with money. Like that, it doesn't work that way. Like that's still a dumbass. Like it's still stupid. It's still a dumbass purchase. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, uh, when people start talking about like money on social media, it it's just interesting to see, the hypocrisy that there is with like, who should be good or bad with money, who's allowed to just be bad with money and make bad spending decisions. Um, and it's like, man, like let's all just bring back, some just thinking. Like I feel like we're not thinking about this shit. We're just out swiping cards, putting in account information, not really thinking about shit. And so let's just bring back some thinking. That's all I can say. So that's all the random topics I had. I'm gonna get to the economic outlook and see what the data is showing us. Number laid off. So these little small businesses, McKesson. Oh, I actually know people that work at McKesson. Luke, Lutheran, small business. Oh, that's Iowa, out of state. Okay, it's South Carolina. That's not any of us, anybody I know. Shit, Wells Fargo. We got two in Wells Fargo. Microchip, Oil Palm. So Wells Fargo is definitely, does it say like what department? No. Because it would be interesting to see like, is that in their like auto sales department or their real estate? Um, that might be something I can look into later. Was it Boeing? Probably some whistleblowers and laid off here. Oh shit. 500 to 1,000. Warner Bros. Okay. Um, let's go back. Let's go look at total laid off. 12, 30,000. Shit. So I guess this is the first good sign. We'll see if it continues from, how March looks at the end of the day. Um, so that's at least, I guess, a positive data point that we have is layoffs look like they're not going as fast as they could be going. The GDP, let's see where we are. We'll see what February looks like in, I guess, a couple of weeks, maybe within the next coming weeks. Consumer spending decreased by $30 billion. Motor vehicles and parts. Housing utilities are up, food spending's up, gasoline. So you can also use this data, I guess, to like influence, uh, like have if you're going after individual stocks or anything, this might be something that you can use to kind of see what trends will impact your business or the company that you're looking to invest in. So we still don't have GDP data, which we'll have that soon. Um, let's look at the bankruptcies. We've had a couple of, I guess, like a higher profile bankruptcies that just got announced. No, I'm not gonna be able to get it yet. So I feel like there's a way to get like monthly reports. Oh shit, maybe not. Ending March 31st. Okay, so we back March 31st. Take a look at bankruptcy data. I know unemployment is that's not done yet. Oh, it's got February in here. Okay, let's take a look at February. February is at 4. So it's spiking up a little bit. Let's see. So we've been in this range between, 4 and 4.2. So if it breaks above 4.2, that's that's going to be cause for concern, but we're not there yet. And one thing to remember is the federal government actually accounts for like, I think it's like 25% of the like employment or like the jobs. And, as federal jobs are being cut, the that's going to impact the overall unemployment rate. So that's just something to keep in mind. Household debt. Man, I think I just saw a chart where this shit's even gotten worse. No, it's not household debt. It was delinquencies. Uh Interest rates are still flat. Some of the black swans I had. Oh, let me find some of my I'd have to find like the charts I was using to track like some of the diseases that are going around. I know the measles is picking up, and now it's in 2 states. It's in Texas and who's next to us? Arizona, New Mexico. I think it's Arizona. Whoever's over there to the west of us. Um, so the measles is picking up. Granted, most adults are have sufficient immunity to it because anti-vaxxing wasn't really a big thing for a lot of us, but it is for, some of a lot of the newer or younger kids, and they're definitely vulnerable to it. Natural disasters, I think those have cooled off for right now, especially the fires in Carolina and California. Those are decided, but it's about to be tornado season. Especially for the parts for states in the South. Hail seasons, hailstorms, which they're mainly just like property damage. So they're not like a huge issue. Um, so I'll say those two are kind of might be lessening. General overvaluation. I think we're starting to see the cracks in that. Let me pull up a stock market chart. I have it like on my phone. I think the line for when the S&P is officially in correction territory is let me see, 5,532. So, we have another day like we did today. Uh, we'll be, in correction territory tomorrow if we have a repeat. Um, this still looks like an hourly chart. Apple is down 4%. That's a lot. Tesla's down 15%. I actually like to see that happening because I can't stand Elon Musk. Um, we'll talk about crypto, but crypto's been down, altcoins have been down. It's just been NASDAQ is already in. They're well within correction territory now. They dropped another 3%. Um, VIX jumped 19%. So VIX at 27. So there have been people looking like to buy. It's like, oh, this is a good time to buy. Uh, when volatility is this high, and it can get higher. Like, let me pull up the chart for that. No, you can have spikes. No, this is a daily. Give me 5 year or 1 year. When you're in territories like this, with VIX over 25, that's when you're able to see like, you know, massive one, like you're gonna see a lot of like just up and down within the price movement of the stock or whatever you're looking at. And then like let's just look at SPY and I can kind of show you what I'm talking about if I can figure out how to get a daily chart. So the S&P is back to August 24 levels. Like I said before, the official correction territory is 55.32. So right here, we're right there. And I was talking to talking to my cousin earlier, and we were going through some of his finances, and uh, I mentioned we don't know right now if this is just the normal correction that happens every year of that's around 10%, or if it's going to be a case in like 2001. Let me go back to that, to where we were in 21, and from December all the way down to November or almost October, you know, we went from for basically 5,000, uh, so 4,800. We went from 4,800 in the S&P all the way down to 3,500 and over a 9 month period. And so we don't know if that's the case that we're seeing now. Or we don't know if it's going to be, just hey, we're going to find a bottom and turn things around. The way I see it is that as more data comes out, as more inflation data comes out, and that's caused by the tariffs, as that the data comes out, as the data keeps coming out, things will keep getting worse. So I don't anticipate us, just I don't anticipate us finding like a bottom anytime soon, honestly. And then as unemployment starts to pick up, we've already seen, like we looked at the data and we see like there's a reporting lag. Um, and so as those numbers start picking up, along with inflation, along with interest rates not going down, along with the housing market freezing up, I feel like these numbers are just going to continue to go down. These stock prices are going to keep going down. So no, I don't think it's a general good time to buy, especially individual stocks right now. Now, that comes with a grain of salt. If you have, depending on what your strategy is, if you have a stock that's been down, 50%, and there's some out there, like if it's hit your buy target, then stick to it. But not YouTube. What was I thinking of? Okay, okay. Uh, this is for year to date. So year to date, this stock is down almost 30%. Um, if you had it in, if that's your buy zone, that's your buy zone. It's almost down, 50% from its highs in the 15s. Did it ever hit 16? Yeah, it hit 16. It hit 17. It hit 17. So yeah, it's down, 50% from its high. So if that's something that you're looking at, just, have conviction about it. But um, I would say the best option is a dollar cost average. So if you had, you know, you were gonna allocate $5,000 to a position, if it's down 50%, maybe do a 10% purchase. And so instead of, you don't do the whole 5,000, you put 500 in it. And then, come back, revisit in a quarter, see where things at, or revisit it next month, see where things are at. But those are just ways that you can protect yourself from the timing risk. Because you would hate for it to, you put your money in and then 2 weeks later it's down another 30%. Um, but when you dollar cost average in over time, you kind of give yourself protection over from that from that risk of the price continuing to drop after you buy it. Because then at that point, what you're doing is you're just lowering your buy cost, not your buy cost. You're lowering your cost average. Because at that point, you're lowering the cost of the position. So you have 10%, you got it at $8.60. And then 2 months from now, it drops again to $5. And now what's the average between 5 and 8? Uh, six. Oh, was that 13? So 6.5. So, you put another buy in at $5. So now your average is 6.5. And you're just working on lowering the cost of the position over time. And you want to do this with companies that you're comfortable with the fundamentals of it. Just because like stocks are going down doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad stock. Um, right now, a lot of things when the market overall is down, stocks are going to be down. Like it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad company or that they're insolvent, they're going to go out of business, none of that. It's really just part of the market. It's just part of the game. Nothing goes up indefinitely. Um, so just keep that in mind and do your fundamental research, man. Look at the financials and find stocks that you're comfortable with that, they're going to be able to make it through however long this economic downturn ends up being. You want to find stocks that you feel are comfortable that they're going to be around afterwards. And so yeah, that's that's what I have I want to say for individual stocks, but for people looking to get into individual stocks, that's like my advice for you. Or that's the best way. That's how I would do it. If I was buying stocks now. Like I said, I'm not because we just looked at volatility. It's at what was it, 25, 27. Volatility is way too high to be to try to, you know, to look at buying a stock right now. And then I seen some people talk about post option, like an option trade, and it was an Nvidia call. Um, and I definitely would have. And I think it was they might have bought it when I think 2 days ago the market had a pretty strong green day, and people, you could get suckered into thinking that, oh, it's time for a recovery, but you always got to keep VIX in mind, and then uh, trading against the trend. So if we've been in a downtrend, shit, what is the S&P on here? Should pull it up. If we've been in a downtrend, for a month, a counter trend trade is just, more risky. We've been in a downtrend since February 20th. This is he's doing 3-day candles. Jesus Christ, bro. I hate this. I just want daily candles, bro. I don't ask for much. I really don't. Yeah, so we've been in a downtrend, and so to a call option, it is just a higher risk play right now. If you would have bought that, hell, even if you'd have bought it, and held it over the weekend, which this person did, it would have been down, here after this day, but because it flows with the trade, you got this gap down, and then you got a pretty solid move down to where that would have put you back in profit. Um, but yeah, option trading is one of the higher risk things you can do. If you're trading options right now, I would look at closing, all your positions by the end of each day. Not to say that like, hey, right before the closing bell, but look to get in and out. Like, don't look at it as something that you're gonna hold on to for long periods of time. Like, set your stop loss and set your profit targets, and execute those as they come. Like, don't sit there and wait for things to turn around and get back in your favor, because volatility is just too high for that. Um, the within a day, the price can swing violently up or down, and it knocks you out your position. That's one of the issues with crypto. A lot of crypto trading is leverage trading, and it doesn't matter you know, if overall it went down. Hell, if it spiked up for 30 seconds and you're in a short position, that can, like, you're gonna lose money off of that. It doesn't matter that it was just 30-second flash or a 2-minute flash, and then when it crashed right back down, you still had to, yeah, you still had a margin call. You still had to put in more capital for that leverage. So that's just the risk with using leverage. It's not something that you should be holding for long term, unless it's like a in the money, unless you're like advanced and wealthy, and you can play these options like Nancy Pelosi does, where it's you know hundreds of $1,000s and you're in the money by a large margin. That's a different story, but that's not you. You're buying call options on Robinhood, so you're not in that position. So, don't hold those options overnight, and open yourself up to the volatility that comes with it. It's just high risk. That's all I'm saying. I don't know how long I've been yapping. I'm about to. I think I've looked at everything that I can look at right now. So that's Word on the Block, episode, I don't know, 3 or 4. Um, I'll do a crypto update sometime this week. I'm going to hold myself to that. I'm going to do a crypto update sometime this week. I'm going to post it. And yeah, man, keep your head on the swivel.